Welcome to the Chrysalids podcast, where imagination meets transformation, and it's all about you. I'm your host, Vivin Mathew Easo, and today we feature a powerhouse performer and longtime friend, Karla Singh. She began with tap dancing and gymnastics, choreographed over 75 ad films, and even acted in 10 Hindi films. She has even trained the likes of Shamak Davar, Javed Jafri, and Tara Sutaria when they were part of the productions directed by her. Karla is fearless. She once learned to wrestle for a stage role and brings emotion, movement, and magic wherever she goes. So, get ready to be inspired. So, Karla, at what age did you realize that you were meant to do something different?
Well, thank you. Thank you, Vivin, for that wow introduction. Okay. To answer your question, it wasn't really once. My first time that I transformed or decided to do something different was when I was still in school, a senior in high school. And throughout all, I wanted to be a beautician. That was my goal. So that meant no college. Yes, a beautician. I was fascinated with hair and I wanted to do that. So I didn't have to go to college for that. So, but I was a good student and part of the honor society, and that required you to mentor other children, classmates, or those younger than you, which I did. And I was in the business stream. So I was mentoring and I found that I liked it. It gave me satisfaction to help somebody, to see them grow. And I changed my mind. And I said, I think I want to be a teacher. But for that, I had to go to college. So the problem is that I didn't have the requisite subjects that you needed to be able to get into college. The one was biology. I'd never had biology. So I applied to a community college and they gave me provisional acceptance, provided that I passed the board exam in biology during summer school. So it was a 6-7 week course. The whole year's biology course was taught in 7 weeks. I had to go to summer school for 3 hours in the morning. And then to pay for it, I had to get a job. So I was in a bakery, and I was a sales girl in a bakery through the afternoon, part-time. And therefore, I wound up getting admission. I passed the exam, thank you. And I went on to college to university, and then on to grad school. So the first time to change my mind, so to speak, was going from being a beautician to deciding to be a teacher, a business teacher. So that was number one. Then the second time, which was the transformative part for me here, was when I came to India. I didn't know what to do. I came for love, all right? That was the main thing, is that I came for love to marry my husband. But once I was here, it was, now what do I do? I'm in a strange country and I'm not really qualified. I'm qualified as a business teacher, but the subjects are different and the whole system, education system was different than what I was trained for. So that was out. Now, what do I do? So I decided to stay physical because I was a gymnast when I was in school and college. So I would do something physical. So I decided to take some ballet classes. There was a local teacher. She was very good. And I went for that. And I was working out with her. And there was a lady who came to visit my ballet teacher who wanted her to choreograph a show. Tommy, the rock opera. Now, my teacher was a strict ballet person, and this was out of her realm. And she said, nothing doing. I can't do this. But why don't you ask Karla? And I was like, I've never choreographed a musical before. What do I do? But I said yes. And that was the main transformation that took me from beautician to business teacher to performing artist in India.
Okay.
So 2 times it happened. The second time is what brought me to here now.
So it's very interesting. Most young people
Hmm.
aspire to go to the US.
Hmm.
And here you are,
Yeah.
because they think the US is the land of opportunity.
Right.
And here you are, who came to India for love and opportunity, right? So, do you have any advice to give these young kids, these young men and women who are, you know, at that stage of their lives where they are thinking and dreaming about the
You know,
US?
it's funny that you say that because that many people said that to me over the years when I first came to India. What is this? We're all trying to get over there, and then you have come over here. Now, what the heck brought that? Yes, love did. I wouldn't say it was opportunity because I just came for the love. The opportunity happened, and I said yes. So it was a combination of both. And I'd say that you go where the opportunities arise for you. And it doesn't matter where you are. You can be in America, you could be here. But if something moves you, if something speaks to you and says, this sounds interesting, follow it. And who knows where it will lead.
So, Carla, I mean, you've had a fascinating journey in theater, and especially theater. I mean, I know it's business, teaching business to choreography to acting in theater and then directing plays. But it's primarily the umbrella is theater. So, and I still remember from the mid 80s when you did this fascinating play called Tarantula Tansi, in which you played a wrestler. And I still remember that iconic photograph where you were seen holding and lifting another wrestler over your shoulders in a ring. Want to tell us more about that?
Well, I have to say that it was the hardest thing I have ever done. Of all the productions, it was the most difficult because first I had to do 6 months of learning to wrestle. So we had a professional wrestling coach who came and worked with all the actors in the show. And we had to learn how to throw, how to fall. That was the main thing. How to make it look real, show the pain and the agony and the anger, and yet still complete the whole production, the 2 hour show. So it was the hardest thing I ever did. And then we had to, then we started, after 6 months, we started the rehearsals with the script. We were doing it in Alec Padamse was the director, and we were doing it in his living room. He constructed the wrestling ring in his living room, took out all the furniture and did it there because you can't do this in a rehearsal hall. You have to do the throws. You have to land on the floor. So you needed the ring. So he provided that. And then we did about 3 or 4 months of rehearsal of the play. We had to sing. So there was singing training. It was a musical. So weightlifting, physical training, wrestling training, musical training, and then, of course, the acting of the scenes. So it was exhausting, to say the least, because I played Tansy. And I was the one, it was the story of, from childhood, from birth, literally, the abuse that a woman faces through life. And the form of the abuse was wrestling. So it started from when I was a baby. And the first song was sung, which was I Wanted a Boy. So I was the unprepared, unwanted girl child. So I was chucked around and thrown and flipped and thrown. And so that was the first. Then I grow up and I wanted to go to school and go on to college instead of getting married. So I had a fight with my mother on that and my father on that and the friends who would made fun of me. So one after the other, I was going from one friend or one scene to the other, and each time it was a wrestling bout. So it was exhausting physically. I had to do a lot of training for capacity lungs and all that stuff. So it was it was the most memorable for me because it was the most difficult. And to this day, now this was done in 86. 86 was when we launched. And by the way, we inaugurated the experimental theater. Our show, the NCPA Experimental Theater, was inaugurated with Tarantula Tansy way back then. So yeah, it was mind-boggling to do that.
Did you do something with Alec from Shakespeare?
Also, yes, Macbeth. I did about 2 or 3 productions with other actors, with Nasir and Vikram Kavadia. I did Julius Caesar and Romeo and Juliet. And then the most recent one, before he passed away, was Macbeth.
Okay.
One of my dream roles. I've been very lucky. I've gotten so many of my dreams fulfilled through the theater. And one of them was to play a witch. I always wanted to play a witch. Playing the hero is easy.
Easy.
It's easy, and to me, it's boring. Excuse me for saying it, because you have to fit into that good role. There's certain things that the good guy, the hero cannot do because it's not good. But a villain can do anything, and that's a joy. So Alec granted my wish and made me the first witch in his Macbeth version.
Can you share a little bit? Can you reveal a little bit of that role?
I'd love to. It was dear to my heart. Okay. A sailor's wife had chestnuts in her lap, and munched and munched and munched. "Give me," quoth I. "Be off, woman," the rump-fed Runyon cried. Her husband to Aleppo gone, master of the Tiger. But in a sieve I'll thither sail, and like a rat without a tail, I'll do, I'll do, I'll do.
You give me goosebumps. My hair's standing. My hair's standing. Okay. So your early training in tap dancing and gymnastics, they've actually proved to be very, very useful in your career.
Very much so. I was a part of productions in which ad films and product launches and things like that. And we had to do something different. They wanted something different. So my tap dancing training that I had when I was 5 years old actually really came in handy. And the gymnastics, of course, really helped me physically, body language, positioning in space. So that helped with the tarantula tansy, especially because I was used to jumping off and doing flips and cartwheels and things like that. So being flipped over somebody's shoulders and thrown onto the floor was not something new to me. Exactly. So it all it all dovetails. It really dovetails.
Wonderful. So acting in ad films and acting in cinema, uh, you choreographed a lot of the ad films also, if I'm not mistaken.
Most of them I choreographed. Some I acted in,
Yeah,
but most of them I choreographed.
So how was that? How was that experience? Was it something that gave you a lot of satisfaction, or was it just the money?
No. The money was part of it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Listen, you got to make a living. The theater doesn't cut it. But yeah, because it's the film industry. So see, when you're on stage, everything has to be linear. If it takes 3 seconds to go from stage left to jump over something and go to stage right, it literally takes that 3 seconds or whatever, physical time. You
Correct.
have to work in that. But in film, you can go, and cut, and jump in the air, cut, and land, and it's all taken a half a second, So you have to think that way in order to make it happen within that 30-second ad
Right.
or 20-second ad. You
Right.
don't have the luxury of going in real time to do that. It
Yeah.
has to be done, and you've sent your message. So you have to think differently and adapt.
Yeah.
And that was always a challenge. So sometimes you could go linear, sometimes you had to cut to make it interesting. So you're dealing in different mediums means you have to work around it. And it was always a learning experience because I didn't train in advertising other than teaching it as a business subject, but not as a choreographer or as an actor. In theater was one thing, film is another. So each time it was a new learning experience by saying yes. I keep coming back to that.
So that could be your one slogan, right?
Absolutely.
One message that mantra for life.
Absolutely. That's my mantra throughout. That's what's brought me from A to B to new experiences to realizing new talents that I didn't know I had. Also, things that I know you're never going to do again because you stink at it. It's terrible. Even that is learning
Great.
because then you know, what should I pursue? What should I say? Nah, ain't going to happen. So yeah, it's what empowering it is. It's really empowering.
So, if you're a young actor, student, parent, or anyone ready to explore the power of creative movement and performance, don't wait. You can write to us at connect@chrysalids.in and we'll help you connect with Karla. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another story from our famous five. Until then, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and start your creative arts journey today. By the way, hope you've subscribed to our YouTube channel to get regular updates.